Hey y'all. So I was sick for the past 2 days. That fever tried to take me out. Y'all, I couldn't even get out of my bed. I was like, if I could not get out of bed today, I was gonna film from my bed. That's how important I wanted to get this out to y'all. But yes, this is my review for Porsha's Family Matters, the season finale. I gotta say first that it feels like with all the hot topics that's been happening in the past 2 days, this show is kind of just like an afterthought. But yeah, this episode starts off where they left off the other week was when Dennis and Porsha was seeing each other for the first time since that huge Mexico brawl. So Porsha asks Dennis, does he want to come in to talk? But Dennis is very hesitant and he's just standing in the doorway right now. Yeah, Dennis is basically like, nah, I'm good. I got work at 5 o'clock. I gotta go. So there's no discussion of what happened in Mexico whatsoever between them. They're now using the baby as a shield to not talk about the obvious. So here in Dennis in his confessional, he's still not over Mexico, as he shouldn't be, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm on Dennis's side pretty much. So next scene we're with Aunt Liz and Lauren is coming over to visit. I love how Aunt Liz, right after Mexico, has become a main character, and I love this. I want Porsha back on Real Housewives of Atlanta just so I can see Aunt Liz again. But yeah, the reason why Laura's coming over is to help Aunt Liz organize this charity event that's in the civil rights activist Hosea Williams' name. So they're discussing Mexico, of course, and Lauren thinks she failed, but then Aunt Liz is telling her, no, you get an E for effort. Now, she didn't say it like that, but she's saying, what you did in Mexico was very admirable, and you still changed people's lives in that 1 week when y'all went on the trip, so you should still be happy with what you did, or what you tried to do. Aunt Liz also lets Lauren know she plans on having a one-on-one sit-down with Dennis to give him a black man pep talk of sorts. So next scene we see Porsha bring little PJ to the hospital. She's had her surgery. She's saying in her confessional that right after Mexico, her and Dennis still haven't addressed anything, yet they're stuck in the same hospital room together for the sake of PJ. So then after that, next scene we're with Aunt Liz again and she's FaceTiming Dennis, talking about, she thinks he's a great black father and she definitely has nothing against him. And she saw that he actually tried to do the work in Mexico and she just wants to schedule a one-on-one with him, and he's happy to oblige and they plan on meeting. I wonder what they're going to talk about though, because the one that really needs to talking to is Porsha in this situation. I think Aunt Liz is better suited to be there when Porsha and Dennis are talking as a mediator of sorts. I think that would help. But just talking to Dennis one-on-one, I'm just curious as to what that's going to do. So next scene we're with Porsha meeting up with her cousin Londie for lunch. Before I get into this scene, I noticed they're ordering, and I'm wondering what restaurant provides guacamole as well as edamame on the same menu. Maybe the Cheesecake Factory or something, but this is a small restaurant. I'm just like, those are two very different cuisines, I don't know, just me in the restaurant, I just noticed that. And of course we know that Londie is probably meeting up with Porsha to confront her about what Dennis told her in Mexico about Porsha telling him to fire her. Oh Lord, now Londie, your minion badge is showing now, girl. Before they start the conversation, she said she wanted to apologize to Porsha, I guess for breaking into her house and taking Dennis's things, but she offers to, she has a bag with her, and she has Dennis's robe, and she's like, well, I brought Dennis's robe back to you if you want it. And then Porsha is laughing at it, saying, oh girl, Simon already told me to give Dennis his stuff back so you can keep it, give it back to Dennis. So she's trying to explain herself, saying that her and Lauren had the best intentions when taking the robe, and she's like, well, if it wasn't for some people, i.e. Storm, who she's talking about, then it wouldn't have got bigger than what it really was. And you notice after that Storm fight, we didn't see nothing from her, and that's how I like it. But anyway, Londie brings up Storm's name because she tells Porsha that she feels like she had Storm's back and didn't even bother to listen to her point of view. Porsha gives her a bullshit answer. She says, oh, well, Storm was just sitting right next to me. Girl, again, no accountability, and Londie clocks it too in her confessional. And Porsha also says, well, I'm close to Storm just as much as I'm close to you. Which then Londie cuts her eyes and like, what? Because we've heard Londie say that her and Porsha ain't that close. And then even Londie tells her, well, I actually think we can be closer. So then this easily gives Londie a segue to bring up what Dennis told her at the tequila tasting about how Porsha allegedly told him to fire her. So she brings it up to her, and Porsha says she does not remember. And now Porsha's trying to flip it on her, saying, oh, well, you would believe what somebody said about your cousin? If somebody came to me, said something about you, I wouldn't just automatically believe them. So that means you believe them? I know this was not going to end well for Londie. Then Londie also says, well, also Dennis tells me, why does Porsha treat you so bad? Porsha looks a little blindsided now. I don't think she expected that to be called out on her bullshit. Ooh, the gaslighting Porsha. What she's trying to do right now. So now she's trying to make it seem like, oh, Dennis is trying to create a divide amongst my family right now. You gonna believe him? Ugh. And then we get some tea that Londie actually used to be Porsha's assistant. So Porsha's assistant used to be Lauren, and Londie, and Dom, and now the other girl, Lauren. So all these people were her assistants, i.e. minions. They all used to work for Porsha. Do y'all get that? So then Londie brings up that Porsha fired her and replaced her with Dom, and she never gave her a reason. So you know production, they had to ask her in a confessional. And Porsha tells him that, well, she forgot to pack toiletries in Ziploc bags, and then the baby oil spilled in my lambskin Chanel. And she said, oh, I was flinging my bag, my Chanel. Then we cut the Londie like, oh yeah, it was probably the Chanel bag. It's crazy. Like, I did not know that all four of them used to be Porsha's assistant. That is crazy. Of course she's gonna get mad at them whenever they step out of line. So as Londie continues to tell Porsha how, they weren't that close, then Porsha brings up an excuse of when she was going through it with Cordell 8 years ago in her abusive relationship, how Londie wasn't there for her. And Londie's like, I was in college. And Porsha's like, I know, you didn't want to spend as much time with me as I didn't want to spend time with you. Londie's like, that's not true, but okay. So then Porsha gets up frustrated to talk to producers and says she's sick of this fucking shit. And she just leaves Londie just sitting at the table. So here we go. We see the real Porsha emerge again. Once she sees that when her manufactured image starts to crumble, she gets flustered and mad and tries to talk to producers about it. She is cursing that producer out. She's like, I am fucking done with it. I'm done. I'm done. And Londie can hear all of this. Poor Londie. I feel really bad for her in this moment. Wow. I'm sick of my family saying that I don't spend time with them. Fuck this shit. Who was there for me? Londie starts to break down and cry. And these are real tears. And then Porsha tries to come right back on camera, smiley faced and everything. And Londie is hyperventilating right now. And Porsha feels terrible now because the cameras are capturing all of this. And now she's trying to be the good big cousin and console her. You're not making me angry, Londie. You're not making me... Bullshit, Porsha. Bullshit. You said what you said. Londie is really like shaking right now as Porsha's next to her. You are my family. I will be there for you. Porsha in this moment has still not taken accountability for anything that Londie wanted to address with her. But yet she's trying to calm her down right now. Cut to Londie, her confessional saying that this meetup should have never happened. No, girl, you need to see the real Porsha and how she really felt about you. And she don't give a fuck about you. She really don't. You're a minion to her. Porsha keep trying to tell Londie how much she loves her. What I want to know is, how close are they now after this show? How many times have they seen each other since filming has wrapped? I just know Porsha's putting on for the cameras right now, giving Londie this sorry-ass apology. And then the scene just ends there. Just no accountability whatsoever. Of course Londie's going to forgive her in that moment. Just wow. Like, again, disappointed. So next scene, we're with Aunt Liz and Dennis finally meeting up together to chat. As they sit down, Aunt Liz is asking Dennis, how was it being in the same room with Porsha, for 2.5 days. So then we cut to Porsha's residence as she's making PJ breakfast. She's talking to her mom and she tells her that Dennis apologized to her from Mexico. She said that she didn't hear any regret in his voice. And then the producer's like, well, did you apologize to Dennis? She's like, no. Of course. Then we come back to Dennis and Aunt Liz, and Dennis says there was a conversation that was had with him and Porsha. He says there's still more to talk about, but they both have the understanding that PJ comes first. Dennis is telling Aunt Liz that he's more so worried about the relationship between his mom and Porsha, which he just doesn't understand where is this coming from. It's coming from the fact that Mama Gina isn't afraid of Porsha and calling her bullshit out. That's where it comes from. Side note, I might have to visit this restaurant that Aunt Liz and Dennis is at. Those fish and grits look bomb. And I love me some fish and grits. Oh my goodness. Aunt Liz, again, is telling it like it is. So she's telling Dennis about the charity event that she's doing in the new building. And she said she wanted him to meet the real Hosea Williams side of the family. And then in her confessional, she goes into more details saying that, oh, well, there's Hosea Williams' side. And then, you have Diana's side. Wow, I'm sure Porsha did not like that. She even tells us, that sounds rude, huh? I should stop saying that. I mean, hey, it is what it is. So next scene, we're with Porsha and some of her minions, Lauren and Lauren, her sister and her current assistant. And they're about to do a cooking class. They have a personal chef coming over to teach them how to make Nigerian food. And this is lovely, but fast forward. Oh, so wait, the personal chef isn't really teaching them. She's actually just cooking for them. And then she's taking the credit of the personal chef when Simon gets home to make it look like Porsha cooked this food. Wow. Even the producer's asking, you don't feel bad for taking the credit for food you didn't fix? And she's like, no, because it tastes good. So as they're eating dinner, Simon lets Porsha know that his divorce is officially finalized. Like, Fallon signed the paperwork, they've agreed on the settlement, it's done. So now they can focus on their wedding that's about to happen, or if it happens. So what we also see is official is Porsha and Simon have found a house and they'll be moving in together soon. Again, I'm happy for her, but I just really think like 80% that this is all gonna blow up in her face. I'm gonna give them 2 years. 2 years before it's over. So next scene, we see it's the day of Aunt Liz's charity event and the official opening of Hosea's Help's building. Londie arrives first, and then Aunt Liz tells her that she got a video from Porsha. And it looks like Porsha had to cancel because she needed to bring PJ to the hospital because she was dehydrated. At first I was like, but I really don't think Porsha would lie about missing out on this. I don't think there was a motive for her to miss out on it. So now it looks like Simon will be showing up on Porsha's behalf. It looks like everyone that went to Mexico is at the charity event with the exception of Mama Gina, Dennis, and Storm. So now we see Aunt Liz talking to Simon, and she's just telling him about how she had a conversation with Porsha about parenthood and actually thanking him for just being there for Porsha. Now, wait a minute. They're discussing Porsha right now, and Simon tells Aunt Liz that he's been telling Porsha that you are Hosea Williams' granddaughter. And he had the nerve to look Aunt Liz in her eyes and say, y'all need to start showing some respect and treating his granddaughter better. N-word what? Like, you can see the expression on Aunt Liz's face change. She's like, who does he think he's talking to? Are you serious? He doesn't even show respect to his ex-wife, yet he's trying to lecture somebody else who is his elder on respect to somebody. Fuck his ugly, bald-headed, raisin-faced ass. It's a record scratch, and then we see Aunt Liz in her confessional, excuse me? Again, like even production had to roll the tape back. That's right, Aunt Liz. He needs to worry about treating Porsha better himself and making sure he don't cheat on her. They treat Porsha fine. They actually treat her too fine. The nerve of this N-word. I wish I could say it, y'all, but I don't want to be flagged. But you know, Aunt Liz is a class act, and she keeps it cute for this event right now. So she's just like, okay, Simon, and gives him a hug. See, a class act, the way she handled this trash man. So then the event goes on and it's a success, and now we're back with Porsha at the hospital, and then production lets us know that she started eating again. And the first thing she started eating was lemon pepper wings. Good for her. I mean, the kid has good taste. So then, I didn't realize this on my first watch because, you know, I wasn't really paying attention, but they jumped 4 months later. Production lets us know that Porsha and Dennis continue to work on their co-parenting relationships, but unfortunately have not been able to come up with a mutually agreed co-parenting plan. So now next scene, we have a one-on-one sit down with Porsha and Dennis. So as Dennis is waiting on Porsha, she finally arrives, and this time he pulls her chair out for her to sit down. Keeping it cordial right now, so that's good. But then it's kind of starting already. Porsha come in, she's wearing a fur, and he's like, that look a little familiar. He was like, I didn't buy that. And then Portia's like, no, this is from the pest tour. Thank you, Simon. She probably lying. I don't believe a word Porsha says now. Like, I will question everything she says now after watching her show. You can tell that this meeting between the two of them was forced upon them by producers because they both look like they begrudgingly agreed to this. So since this is 4 months later, Dennis asks Porsha how's her engagement going, and she's like, you care? And then she also gives an update on her housing situation. So they finally close and they're moving in a week. And then we did see on social media that Porsha's mom, Diana, she moved into Porsha's old house while, you know, Porsha and Dennis moved into the new house. So then Dennis asks her, did she get a prenup? And she just pauses and looks at him like, that's none of your business, Gina. They are starting already. Porsha just immediately changes the topic to what she's having for dinner. So the conversation's continuing, and Dennis asks her, you know, where's the new place? She says it's in the city, and it's easy for them because little PJ will be able to go to school in the area. So then Dennis's ears perk up to that because she's like, schools? You've been looking at schools? And she's like, oh, well, I've been looking at some. And he's like, without me? And he's like, shouldn't we be looking at schools together for PJ? Yeah, Porsha's being very vague right now with Dennis's questions. And I understand Porsha not wanting to say what part of the city she lives in on camera. That's something easily she could tell him because Dennis deserves to know where she lives, of course. But as far as the school thing, Porsha really be dodging accountability, don't she? Just like, accountability. No accountability whatsoever, just on her little Kim. So we also found out during this dinner that Dennis initiated this. He had to go through Simon to get Porsha to show up to this. So Dennis tells Porsha that he's happy for her that she's getting married, but it's still his kid, 50% his kid. And he tells her that you're not acting like it. Porsha looks a little blindsided and then tells him some BS about, well, I think we should definitely work on our co-parenting since the blending didn't work out. I wonder why. So then Porsha lets Dennis know that after the events of Mexico, she realized that she can't have the blended family that she wanted. Like, they can't go from being intimate to just family and having him like a brother, which then confuses the hell out of Dennis saying a brother. And she says now she can't even have that because Dennis wasn't completely honest with her. And Dennis immediately says, and you being honest? What are you being honest about? Again, I am on Dennis's side. Like, Porsha has not taken any accountability on this damn series. Porsha says that she came into this situation with love for Dennis and his mom. And then Dennis stops her right there like, oh wait, we're not talking about my mom and me. We're talking about me and you. Porsha's like, now hold up now, don't raise your voice. It's going left, fast. Porsha's saying she brought up Mama Gina because she wanted them to be a part of her family. And Dennis is like, yeah, we still are family. Porsha's like, no, we aren't. Y'all are Pilar's family. Dennis asks Porsha, then where are we then? And Portia's like, well, we're in a place where we're still working on our co-parenting. And Dennis is like, well, I already wrote the paperwork. And since y'all don't want to be adults about it and respond to that, then maybe we could just go to court for it. And then now Portia's like, oh, well, we don't have to bring the court into this. I think Porsha knows exactly what Dennis is talking about. She probably just put that paperwork to the side or just threw it in a trash can. Like, she is taking her good old time, and she has PJ on her watch. Now, Dennis can be petty, and he's proven to be petty, so I can definitely see him taking Porsha to court over 50-50 custody. Ooh, and Dennis is breaking it down. He was like, on education, religion, travel, I should have 50-50 say on all those things, and it should be agreed upon. Ooh, Dennis came ready for Porsha. Here we go again. Porsha's trying to gaslight the situation, trying to make Dennis out to be the bad guy. It seems like all Dennis wants is just to be a part of the important decisions that's made about his daughter. And Porsha isn't letting him be a part of that. And I'm with Dennis on that. It's kind of mirroring what we saw in Insecure between Lawrence and Cantaloupe. Ooh, and then he calls out Porsha on camera for just taking PJ in the middle of the night to London. She's like, I never did that. He's like, yes, you did. Oop, the real Porsha coming out. She's like, sir, let's be real. You really ain't fucking here anyway. When she's called out on her shit, that's when she gets defensive. She's now calling out Dennis on him not being there, and that's all he pays for is her school. That's it. Dennis is now saying, ain't no paper shortage over here. What she need? What she need? Okay, it's gone left already. Dennis is like, well, we could go to court. And then Porsha's like, there ain't no threat. Look, Porsha, you might not want to go to court because all he got to use is footage from your show. And you better watch out before he gets majority custody. They are arguing back and forth now. Dennis is ready for the check. The waitress, that poor waitress, coming back with the food. Porsha does this to the waitress as she puts the salad in front of her. And then she tries to put the food in front of Dennis. He's like, oh yeah, you can box that up. Like, they're going back and forth. Porsha's telling him he's not paying for nothing. She tries to tell Dennis, this is an epic fail for you. I see what you're trying to do. Dennis goes right back at her. This is an epic fail for you. People gonna see. And yes, Dennis, oh, how he was right. They getting loud. You got other people in the restaurant looking at them now. It's officially off the rails now. Production has to get involved. Dennis is calling his Uber. Portia's like, he came to threaten me with the judge, talking to the producers. You hear Dennis saying, everybody knows you're a liar. That she is. I gotta say, Porsha, I mean, you need a second season just to clean this up. So Dennis says he is out. They are both out their seats. Portia's complaining to the producer yet again, and Dennis is on his way out the restaurant. So as the credits roll, you can see Porsha saying, I'm done. She walks out the restaurant, and then we get an update saying that Porsha and Dennis are continuing to work on their co-parenting plan, but remain cordial. They also say Porsha and Simon moved into their new home and are excited to begin wedding planning, but have yet to set the date. And I bet you maybe she's going to get a season 2 just to cover this wedding. Because that's going to be a whole thing. So in the last scene, we see Porsha explain her confessional that when you get a bunch of people involved in the co-parenting, and it's going to be a whole mess, and you get Portia's family matters. And that is where the episode ends, y'all. That is where this season ends, actually. And I got to say, at the end of it all, Portia's family never mattered. Basically, they did all that for nothing. All this did was just show us how Porsha really is. It actually showed Dennis in a better light. Yeah, this was the biggest mistake of Porsha's career. I'm not sure how she's gonna get over this. Yeah, Porsha, I'm very disappointed. I hope you come back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But yeah, y'all, that's the end of the season. Thank y'all so much for watching. Yeah, the views have been great. To say this is a show that stars a person that a lot of people can't stand. I really appreciate the views. I'm sorry for the lateness, but this fever that I had tried to take my ass out. So this should be out today. It's Wednesday, so it should be out Wednesday night, no later than 10 p.m. I guarantee that. And I'm going to get to work on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because you know you know we got to talk about a lot. A lot. Especially the things that just happened about Miss Jenny. Yeah, we going to talk about it. But anywho, y'all, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for Salt Lake City. Bye.